One of my favorite hairstyles is the 2-strand twist out, and I've been getting lots and lots of requests on how I do my twists. So here it is, ladies, it's finally here. So I just finished shampooing and conditioning my hair. I actually used Hello Hydration's Herbal Essences. It's a throwback that I used to use when I first went natural. I think I started using that maybe in like the 4th or 5th month of my journey. So I showed you how I co-wash my hair, and I used my diamond brush, detangle, and then I put my hair in 2-strand twists. So I'm just loosening the twist right now, and I'm going to section my hair off in the way that I like to section my hair for 2-strand twists. Usually when I wear my hair in a twist out, I like the front to be all down, no parts. So instead of doing a section in the middle, which would cause a part, I do a moon section, and I actually shampooed and conditioned in this moon section. So basically I'm going to put the front in the moon section, and that will make sure that I have my hair falling in my face like I like it and no parts. The back is also going to be in a moon section, and the sides I'm going to just separate right in the middle. So you can start with whichever section works best for you. I usually start with the front and then go to the sides, and then I do the back last, so my own preference. And I always use my moisturizing and pampering my hair products. So I'm not using like any different styling products when I set my hair. So the first thing I'll be using is my Shea Moisture Yucca Biotin Mist. And then I add my coconut oil, and it's the Tropical Traditions Gold Label oil. And I just put it in this bottle so it's easy to apply to my hair. I'm using the Shea Moisture Restorative Conditioner, and I'm using my shea butter. In my regimen video, I use my shea butter, but I told you that sometimes I use Shea Moisture. Today I'm using my shea butter because I want to get rid of this before it starts going bad, because shea butter does go bad after a while, and if I use my Shea Moisture too much, I'm going to waste all of this product. So I get my diamond brush, and I will have my duckbill clip. So I just start by taking a section of hair, and because I'm doing a twist out, I don't want it to be too small. Okay, so basically I'm just sectioning the hair that I'm going to be using, and I'm just telling you that I'm going to apply some of the mist, then the coconut oil, then the restorative conditioner, followed by the shea butter. I smooth them all in, and then I use my diamond brush to make sure that it goes from root to tip. I separate the 2 strands, and then I twist. Now, one of the things that I do when I'm twisting is I pull the hair apart very tightly, and then I smooth down the hair shaft with my fingers as I twist. When I get to the end, I hold one end with my finger and then the other end with my other finger, and I twist around. What I'm doing in this section is to save time. I normally don't moisturize and pamper each individual section like I did in my moisturizing, pampering, and taking care of my hair video. I actually moisturize and pamper a whole section without applying any shea butter, and then I will smooth it through the hair with the diamond brush, separate into smaller sections, add the shea butter,
and then I will twist down. So I'm just telling you at that part of the video, make sure you don't borrow hair, because if you do borrow hair, you're going to have a zigzag effect when you pull your hair out, and then that usually is what causes frizziness. So when you get to the end, if it's very, very difficult because one end is so much smaller than the other, I would recommend just start over and try to make the twist even in length. And sometimes you find that it's harder if you split top and bottom versus directly down the middle. So in this section, you notice that the twist on that side of my hair is much smaller because around my edges, I tend to have more frizziness when I loosen my 2-strand twist in the morning. So on the edges next to my ear and also on my crown, I will make those twists much smaller because I've just experienced more frizz in those areas, and I've tried numerous techniques from adding significantly more product to just putting in bigger twists, smaller twists, and I find that after using the smaller twists, I had a better twist out the next day. So around the edges and on my crown, I do smaller twists. The front of my hair is a finer texture, so I don't have to do small twists in the front, and the same thing in the back around the nape of my neck. I don't have to do really small twists there because the hair there is finer, it catches a curl much quicker, and it doesn't frizz as easily. So wherever you see me doing really small twists, just keep in mind that it's for a reason. I learned my hair and I know what my hair likes. So for the areas of your hair that are higher frizz, that technique might be something you want to try. Just some important things to remember. I always twist my hair to the front because I want my hair to fall on my face. I always twist my sides to the side because I want the side of my hair to go over my ear.
Okay, so I'm pretty much done. I'm going to just do the back now. And the back of my hair usually takes the longest to dry, so by me waiting till the end to do it, it's usually like, you know, damp, which is perfect.
So just for some tips for the back, when you do the back, don't split your hair into two sides and then just twist a left and a right. Split it into three, a left, a center, and a right. I've learned from experience that doing it this way makes it much easier to avoid having a big, deep part in the center that you can never get out, no matter how much you try. So by putting a row of twists in the middle, you won't have that problem at all. And the two parts that you do have separating from the middle from the left and the middle from the right usually don't cause as much trouble as one large, deep part in the center. So I do everything the same. I apply all the same products. I twist with a lot of pressure, and I don't borrow any hair at the end.
Okay, so now we're all done twisting. The entire head is done. And what I do is, now I put on my bonnet. And you just have to be careful when you put on your bonnet to make sure that your hair lays in the direction that you twisted it. I've had a couple of mishaps where I woke up and a twist on this side was like sticking up. It takes forever to fix that in the morning, and if you're like me and you do your hair last right before it's time to leave out, that's like the worst thing that can happen. So I'm just tying my bonnet. If you have one of those elastic bonnets, then, you know, just throw that on. So that's what I do. So I will be back to show you the takedown and the twist out process. So I'm going to take my scarf down, or my bonnet, I should say, off, and these are what the twists are looking like. So I strategically take out my twists. Pretty much I take one of them, I separate them gently, and you can see that they separate into two, and I take each one out completely. Then I go back.
Now this is the part that I think a lot of women have trouble with, because I hear it all the time, over and over again, that when they twist out their twists, they end up with so much frizz. I just want you to notice what I'm doing while I speak about it. I'm pulling apart the hair only once into the original two pieces, and I do it slowly. I know the video is, is sped up, so it seems as if it's going really quickly, but I don't rush through it. I don't force it apart, and because I didn't borrow any hair, I don't have any hairs that are connected or giving me trouble to separate. It's just very easy, they smoothly separate, and I'm able to get a nice curl pattern.
I think I have them all out. So now I'm going to show you how I separate. I pull on the twist like this, and I find where it naturally wants to separate, and I work with that. So let me show you again. Pull on the twist and find where it naturally wants to separate. Now, every twist won't be exactly the same. Some of them, you'll find it much harder to find the natural separation, but some of them, it's really easy. Some, it's on the side, some, it'll be right in the middle. So just pull on it and find where it naturally separates.
So I just want to reiterate what I just said, because it was probably really difficult to hear me. My apologies for those of you who have watched many of my videos. You know that when I record a video in the morning, I tend to have a sleepy voice, and I also try to be courteous to my husband, who's usually sleeping in the background. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, when you split the two pieces into two, and then you go back and you want to twist them out a little bit more, try to find where your hair naturally separates. Smooth your finger down the hair shaft, and you'll notice that a gap will form. Sometimes multiple gaps will form, but just work with the part. If it's in the middle, then it's in the middle. If it's in the side, then it's in the side. Don't force it, just work with it.
Okay, when I find that I've separated all of them, and you can usually feel, because the ones that have been separated are softer, and the ones that have not been separated are harder. Like this one, I have not separated this one, and I'm not going to, because over here it gets very frizzy in my hair. So once you feel all the ones that have been separated, then what I do is I take my fingertips, and I don't put any product on my hand, because There's lots of product in my hair. I go into my roots like so, and I just massage like this. When my hair was shorter, when I would do my twists, I would have to go back and like take out all the parts. So if your hair is shorter than mine, or it's finer than mine, not as thick, you may need to go in and separate your parts. And I have a few older videos, one called Impromptu Twist Out Styling, and you can see how I used to go back and you know, cover up the parts. But now that my hair is longer, as you can see, you can't really see any, you know, you can't see that part because the hair is covering it. So I don't really need to do that anymore. So I just go through it now and I raise the roots so that it will have fullness and height. And on the sides, along the sides perimeter of my head, I will stick my fingers in, squeeze the hair, and pull down because I want this hair around the perimeter to lay down, so I don't just like fluff it out. I go like this, fluff, squeeze, and pull. Fluff, squeeze, and pull. See the pulling? I want it to lay down. See the difference now? It's laying down. And then the front, I pull on them to get them to lay down. And this is my twist out. Okay, so it's the end of the day and I'm going to set my hair for bed. The only tools I usually have on hand are my duckbill clip and some smoothie to put on my ends if I find ends that won't seal together. That's the only thing I'm doing. I'm not putting product on my hair. I have more than enough. So what I normally do is I look for common sections. This might have been my original section. It might not have been. And I take my duckbill clip to hold the hair around it out of the way. I try to find some type of like, you know, separation, and I twist, I pull very tightly like I do when I'm setting, and I smooth down the curl just like I do when I'm setting the initial twist. And when I get to the bottom, I twist the same way, and I only add some smoothie to the twists that unravel. Like this is not going to unravel. But sometimes on maybe the third day of doing this, I may have twists that are unraveling. They're not sealing together. That means that they need a little bit more moisture or help to seal. So, you know, I help them. And for this one, this was not the original two, because this one is so little and this one is bigger, so it's not the original two, but that's okay.
I just want to stress the point that when you reset your twists at night, you should not be spending the same amount of time that it took you to put them in. So if it took you, 45 minutes to an hour to put all the product in your hair and to set your twists on your day one, then it should take you 20 minutes or less to retwist your hair at night, because you're not putting in any product, and you should be making your sections much bigger because the curl pattern has already been set. You're just restoring your hair for night to preserve it for the morning styling.
Okay, so that's how I set hair for bed the next night, and as you can tell, like it's so much quicker the second night. I normally would sit in front of the television, you know, with my husband while we're watching like something on Netflix or catching up on some old movies from our DVR, and I'll sit and I'll twist my hair, and within a normal 30-minute movie, skipping through commercials or you know, whatever, I'll be done. So it doesn't take much time, although it can be a task. Now, if you know, are not interested in retwisting your hair every single night, and there's nights when I'm not, believe me, please watch my pineapple nighttime routine method. It's mini pineapples. I put my hair in elastics like this, and I just put, you know, them all over and then put my bonnet on. Whatever. So I have my 5. I have 1, 2, 3 in the front, and this on the bottom, and this one here.